Yummy, yummy, yummy. Where Wendy Creates. Very happy to have you here with me today. We are using two of the pads we got from Hobby Lobby on clearance. The Paper Studio Textured and Surfaced package of 60 sheets. We have, there's 3 designs each of 20 sheets each. So we've taken out 20 sheets here, 20 sheets here. This one is the A Touch of Color by the Paper Studio as well. Lots of greens, grays, and some purples in there. And we're going to go ahead and blues, green, and we're a little bit of pink, and we're going to play with those today. And what I really wanted to do was grunge up some of the sides of the paper and make it look a little more complete. And here we have, looks like my measurement is a little bit off there, but we're going to work with that. But we're going to go ahead and grunge up the sides of this to make it look like a finished edge, even though it is rough. We're going to age it, if you will, grunge it up and turn it in to be ready to go into our junk journal. And I'm just putting on, if these don't break on me, some gloves so I don't wear the ink around for the next couple of showers. And we're just putting on a couple of gloves. You can get these gloves in any drugstore, any Walmart. I've never looked for them in Hobby Lobby, but I suppose they probably have them in the painting section as well. And it's just so we can play, get rough with it, and not worry about making a mess with our hands. And I have just a few colors pulled out. I have the 4-pack of blues, pinks. I've got a green, a blue-green, a purple, and then my regular Distress Oxide that is a brownish goldish color that I thought we would start with, because on the top we have the pinks and purples, but on the bottom we had the brownish tone. I wanted to start with those first with the gold color. So we can just set those aside and start work on these. And again, this is a junk journal, grungy, and this ages it. So if we get this on ourselves a little bit, if we get this on the page where we don't want it, that's okay. And I'm gonna just take this around. We can use a dauber, we can use a paintbrush, whatever you have. I'm actually using a makeup sponge that I got from the Dollar Tree, a package of makeup sponges. And I've taken a few of these out and I keep them with my ink pads and use them there. We also have the little daubers, but I like this one because it covers more of the edge at one time. We're not looking for full coverage, but we are looking to age that white, especially on the brown side. And when we do it on this side, on the white, you see that it does give that nice aging grunge look as well. So it's more of a complete page, gives that aging look, like that paper has aged. And again, we probably get this from the old linen sheets. We used to make paper out of linen and cotton, and we're actually not making the quality of paper that we used to use in bound books any longer. Believe it or not, it's because we're not wearing as many blue jeans. They used to take the old blue jeans and turn the blue jeans into linen paper. So that was a way that we did it here in the States for the longest time to get our textbook paper from, was reused, recycled blue jeans. Similar to how I'm going to make paper out of scraps of paper and little bits of fabric and string, so did they to make it for the textbooks, for the books with the higher linen bound paper in the books that we read. So that's why when you read a book now, the pages feel different. Pick up an old book, a book maybe made 50, 60 years ago, and feel the page compared to a book made in the last 20, 30 years. And you're going to feel a real difference in the texture of that page. So again, I didn't do a great job here. I could, if I wanted to, go back and cover all of the white, but from having, and let's get a brown paper so you can see the difference. Looking at a brown page with the distressed ink on the outside and on the white side versus having it just the white torn edge with no distressing. And again, this is a personal preference, whether to distress the page edges or not. I sometimes don't do it, but I do like that aging look when we distress the pages, because it gives it that well-used, well-loved, aged look. All right, so one done, and let's go ahead and do a couple more together, and then maybe we'll switch to one of the other colors to show you how bright and different it can be if you use a different ink on the sides. And again, this distressed or the brown or the gold, beige, tan ink pads, they give you more of a natural aging look. When you use one of the colors, it's almost like painting the edge. And you can take a marker and kind of tip it on its side and do this on the edges. I have done that a lot in my scrapbooking days before I came into the junk journals. It works just as well. You get that bright, bold outline that we like to outline and have it pop, have those pictures pop. And we can do that here as well with a marker. So again, you can go around these as quick as you like. You can put as much coming down onto the page as you like, whatever your preference is. I like that uneven look because maybe it has been open. Our fingers have smudged the ink, like the old ink used to take time to dry instead of drying instantaneous like a lot of our ink does today. And it just gives it that older, more textured look. And look, I have accidentally scraped the insides and got some marks on there. That's going to go fine with our texting, with our writing, with our journaling, with our collaging. It does not bother me. I don't want the paper white. I want to go ahead and play with it, do different things with it. And if it really bothers you where you have marked up, determine which way you want up, which way you want down. And then you can simply grab one of your stamps, put one of your stamps around it, and look, that mark is completely gone. We've stamped on it. We've started the theme for that page. And that's a-okay. Don't like one in the up in the sky? We can grab another one of our stamps and stamp right on top of that. And again, look how beautiful that stamp looks. And that'll give you a better idea of what color I'm using as well. So that's just a little point to that. So we've done that one. And now looking at this, I think the green is going to be too bold on it, but it does to me have that gray, brown rust with a little bit of oxidation into the greener colors on there. So I might take a dry, too dry, and see how this looks if we just put a little bit, but I think it's going to be too bright, too bold. See how absolutely bold and bright that is. I probably don't want that on there. So we can go back from the blue and to the green and see if we can tone that down just a little bit. And we can even go around this. You see, I've grabbed my ink pad itself and I'm going around and I'm making those aging marks on this. And again, this is one that I don't know what I'm going to do with the pages yet. So when I make it a little bit brighter, a little bit bolder, I'll probably, in my collaging, in my drawing, in my choice of ink for my journaling, I may choose to go with a green ink. So whatever I pick up with a page that I feel right, I just go with it. And then we kind of audition it to what junk journal we want to put this piece of paper into. So again, with the stamp pad, it kind of goes quickly around here. You're getting a little bit more onto the page. But again, on this page, you really can't tell. So that's fine. And even on the back side of this, I'm going to go ahead and take it around with that green tinge of this ink pad. And again, we can go as quick as we want, as slow as we want. I'm very happy getting it smudged into there because again, we're going to draw on this, we're going to paint on this. That's not going to bother me. I don't mind what my background is when I start because I can completely change that background if I don't like it. Even put a blank sheet of paper on top of that and then start my journaling. So again, it doesn't really matter to me. And I'm not coloring a lot on it, but you see how it's completely changed the edges of that paper from just, whoopsie, just being white. So we can see how bold that has changed it. So we're going to go back to this, and since we did that, we'll just see if we can, oh my goodness. Now if I use the ink pad itself on this one, I get so much darker of a mark. And I may not want that deep of a mark, or if I do, go with it, go for it. But let's cover that green one up, keep it from completely drying out there. And let's go back to the Distress pad and the sponge, and I'm gonna go around it with the sponge real quick. It just gives it a little bit softer tone, I think, because this ink pad just seems like a little bit tougher, maybe higher quality, but a little bit tougher for me to use that whole ink pad on there because I get the very dark versus the very light marks. And again, if you want dark, then go for it. Absolutely go for it. And you don't need a bunch of different stamp pads because you see, when I'm doing my junk journaling, I'm using most of it in the browns and the blacks and the golds. I'm not using the brighter colors. And when I do, wow, do they pop. They really pop out when you use those brighter colors. And a lot of the clearance that I ran into on the ink pads at Hobby Lobby, because I probably didn't get there right in time, they were red. I didn't want red ink pads, especially a 4-pack, a 6-pack of red ink pads. Not necessary for me, because these ink pads really will last you a good year. So it's not necessary to go out and replace and get new ink pads that often. So again, if you've got a couple of good ink pads, you probably just once a year pick up a new ink pad of your favorite colors. Unless you're doing a lot, then yeah, grab a couple of them. But it really does take doing a lot to use up and have the need for more than one of your favorite color ink pads in 6 months' time. Whoopsie. All right, so we've gone around that one. And this one, I'm thinking I should have done a darker brown, but alas, I didn't have my darker browns out. So that tells me this next sheet I have here with more of the gray wood look, I'm not going to put the gold around that. We're going to wait and grab the right ink pad for that. So this one is complete. It does kind of throw off the wood look to me, so I might go around that again with the darker brown. Or maybe I want the darker, look at that. I'll take the darker brown and just go around the edges, and that makes it pop a little bit better for me. I like that darker look. Okay, so that may just do it. We're gonna hold off on the other one because I want that darker look. Let me hold it closer so I can get it more dramatic. Okay, so the closer you get, the more dramatic, because more of that paper is actually pressing against that ink pad. Okay, so that bolder look and that rougher look on that wood makes me a lot more happy. Look at that. That looks, I think that looks so much better when I put the darker around the lighter. So on this side that works. On this side, that lighter going in, blending, I love it. That looks great for me. Okay, so let's do another, maybe 2 wood ones with this ink pad, then we'll have to switch to a different ink pad. Also, we have ran across these in a drawer, half a deck that I hadn't used yet. So very soon we're going to be decoupaging this little guy with some of my other papers. So I just kept him out as a reminder. That's an upcoming video I want to do. Because once we do these journals, we're going to need to fill them And so I might go around this one twice, getting the deeper brown on the outside, getting the lighter brown up onto the white. Okay, so let's do it with the light. Where'd I put my sponge? And it just helps fill it in a little bit better, and I like that a lot. Takes that white look away, turns it more into that fabric of that rope look. And we like that a lot. All right, let's keep going around here. Okay, so I think we're going to do one more wood look, and then we're going to switch to a different stack of ink pads to do these. I might do one or two of the whiter ones with the bolder colors, but then you've got to think you've got to have that in a fun, more fruity journal. You can't have that up to the same background with the beiges and tans. You've got to really match those up to turn those pages those colors. Because you do not want a bright page and no other bright pages to blend it all in. We did that on one of my journals, didn't we? The rose journal. And I still have to work on that to tone it down a little bit. It's still a work in progress. I keep pulling it out, putting it back. We'll get that finished. I think maybe this red upholstery ribbon that I got is going to help me finish that off with a more confident look, because it really, I think it's the right colors to go on that rose journal to give it a more complete finished feel to that. Now see, we've done what? At least half a dozen pages here real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 pages. So I'm very happy with that. And let's set this aside. I really appreciate you joining me. And I never know whether to make these journals long or short, but suffice it to say, I'm going to keep playing with these, and we're going to go through here. Maybe I'll show you another blue one here. Since we have the blue, we'll mix it up with the greens and see how we like that edge, more of that water look on here. We'll go around. Let me show you this one real quick before you go. And again, it's not only aging, but it's enhancing. It's hopefully making it a more complete, finished look, helping that item to pop. We've got the blues there. We've got the blue around it. And then we're going to tone it back down using probably some of this blue-green to make it really look like an aqua-aged, aquamarine, is that? Aquamarine, I believe. That's funny, when I rub the stamp on there, it really blends in that color so well. It's the same color. Well, this is kind of fun. And this is really the only page I think I have bumped my finger with a pad. So for what we've done so far until right now, I probably didn't need it. But I'm trying to do this fast for you, so I'm holding up the page with my finger. And we're kind of inking my finger as we go along. So what do you think with this one? Normally I'd say that color is too bold, but it really matches with the paper on this. Gives me that aquamarine look. I really kind of like that. So we've used the lighter, the blue here, and we've used the Studio G. Let me see if it says what color it is. Acid-free dye ink. It really doesn't. It's kind of rubbed off, so I can't really read the whole thing. Dye ink pad, then another color. Dyeing time will vary by surface. Clean stamps after each use. Yada, 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 yada. Okay, no color on there, but it's like an aquamarine blue-green color. So thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great, great rest of your day. And please, please, please hit the subscribe down below. Subscribe to my channel. I don't want you to miss a single video that I'm putting out. We're working through the whole junk journal process to create some great junk journals, huggable, lovable, using mixed medias, fabrics, papers, ribbons, twine, burlap, ink staining, tea staining, dye staining, all kind of fun things, using different stamps along the way, and just having a great time. Look at those yummy colors. Not too shabby. And of course that blue, I really do think that matches so elegantly with that sheet of paper. So very, very happy with those edges. And we are going to come back very, very soon and do a lot more grunging, a lot more collaging. We're really going to do everything with junk journaling. Thank you, my friends. Have a great day.